Hello, Dale Majors here, and you are here because you're an introvert and you want to be more entrepreneurial. You've come to the right place. I put together 18 tips that you can use to become more entrepreneurial as an introvert. They include tips on how to better handle networking events, on how to better manage some of the stress or insecurity that comes as an entrepreneur, how to network differently, how to decide who to partner with. So I'm really excited to share all these. Lots of actionable stuff here today, things that you'll be able to start doing immediately when you're done with the video. So stick around. Hello, Dale Majors here, and welcome to another video. I love this topic. I'm so excited about being an introvert and entrepreneurship, and I really think you're gonna learn a lot. If you're new to the channel, you wanna subscribe, ring the bell, and stick around. I've got a lot of good content. So let's jump right in. One of the first things that I think you can do to become more entrepreneurial is read about other entrepreneurs. Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, all of these people were pretty famous entrepreneurs and also introverts. One of my favorite quotes from Steve Jobs about being an introvert is this. If you're clever, you can learn to get benefits of being an introvert, which might be, say, being willing to go off for a few days and think about a tough problem. Read everything you can. Push yourself very hard to think out on the edge of that area. Then, if you come up with something, you'd better learn what extroverts do. You'd better hire some extroverts and tap into both sets of skills. So think about who to partner with. That's tip number one. You may need to partner with an extrovert, and it doesn't mean you need to bring them on as a partner in your business, but find people that you can network and work closely with or hire that can help you with those skills that you lack as an introvert. I had a friend growing up, Spencer. My goodness, he was so extroverted and he made us so many friends. It was great to go out to dances with him because he would just always meet lots of new people. One of our best friends was actually we met him because Spencer said, "I'm gonna make a new friend today." This was on the first day of 10th grade, and voila, we had Jared, our new friend. All of a sudden, because we had an amazing extrovert to hang out with. Tip two is learn from other entrepreneurs through their biographies. Two of my favorite are Driven by Larry H. Miller. He was a big car dealership tycoon here in Utah. Another one, I loved Snowball by Warren Buffett. I really liked the Steve Jobs book as well. It was awesome. So read about entrepreneurs and learn from them. Tip three is host a party. You don't necessarily just have to go to networking events, but invite several different entrepreneurs over to your house or out to dinner. And as the person who organizes the party, that kind of gives you a different credibility. So instead of randomly going to networking events, consider bringing the networking event to you. Tip four is own your skills. There are a lot of times extroverts get praised. Oh, they're so outgoing, they're so this or that. But as an introvert, a lot of times you're maybe going to be a bit more humble. You might take less of the limelight, and in general, maybe a better team member. So own those things, that just because you're not extroverted, you have some amazing skills that are going to make you a great boss and entrepreneur because of your introverted tendencies. Tip five is practice small talk. Learn to socialize with others. One recommendation is to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it talks a lot about being curious about others, learning about other people, and if you can get somebody talking about themselves and express genuine interest in them, then small talk becomes very easy. So my friend Ty Bennett actually talks about the rule of two. Before sharing anything about yourself, learn two things about them. And one thing he shares in a video that he made was a lot of times we'll one-up people, and I'm like the worst at this. They're like, hey, I went on a bike tour once. And I said, oh, I went on a bike tour once too, like 10 times. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. But learn about others. Get them talking about themselves. Tip 6, this one's not as much fun, But consider joining a networking group. There are a lot of free or paid networking groups that will meet, weekly or monthly. Everybody gets together, and I've seen a lot of benefit come out of these, especially depending on the business you're in. You may get more than other entrepreneurs, but consider joining a networking group. You're going to have to get out of your bubble. You're going to have to practice putting yourself out there a bit, but it's good. And tip 7 is that continued getting out of your comfort zone. One thing that I would do at trade shows is I was always really nervous to go and talk to new vendors because we'd get shut down a lot and people wouldn't want to sell to us. But I would just practice that. So I'd be at the, at the periphery of one of these new booths, and I'd kind of pump myself up, and then I'd go and talk to them. Hey, my name's Dale. I run a company called Bike Wagon. We'd really like to sell your product and whatever. But that was really hard for me. But I got a lot better at it as I practiced. Tip 8 is learn to manage your energy. If you don't love being with people all the time, say that you're at a trade show or just work throughout the day, find times where you need to be alone. If you're sharing a room, make sure to have that time where you can go to the gym every morning, right? Or eat lunch on your own. You may miss out on some networking if you do that. But in general, find times to manage your energy, and that could even mean instead of carpooling, sitting by yourself, instead of flying and sitting next to your coworker, having alone time on the plane. Just be real with that. A lot of times it's okay to have some alone time. Tip 9 is create solid routines. One of my favorite routines that I have is, my goodness, just waking up early from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and having my own alone time. I love that alone time. It recharges me. It's awesome. It gives me plenty of time to think, review my goals, whatever. So be thoughtful about what routines you could include that will make you more effective. Routines can be super powerful. Tip 10 is find an extrovert to imitate. One of my friends, John, I've gone to a lot of networking events with him. I've gone to a lot of trade shows, and he is the king of making introductions. He'll be standing talking to somebody. I approach myself, hey Dale, do you know this person? Do you know this person? Hey, this or that. He'll reach out to people. He's making introductions all the time. So find people that you know that are really good at networking, that are extroverts, and learn from them. Start to imitate some of the things that they do, and that'll help you. Tip 11 is learn to work hard. And this isn't exclusive to entrepreneurs, but I know that there have been times in my business where I've needed to just put my head down and work. At one point, I had to wake up every morning from 2 or 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. to list product on eBay. And I did it, and it worked, and we actually doubled our sales over like 2 months from $20,000 to $40,000 a month. I learned a lot of that skill by wrestling in high school, by working as a janitor, by doing hard things. So if you're not very good at doing hard things or being uncomfortable, then consider practicing that skill because you can get better at it. Tip 12 is find a mentor and learn to be vulnerable with them. One of my favorite questions or ways to talk to a mentor is to express to them, here's how I'm seeing this business issue. Here's how I'm seeing my business. How would you see it differently? Try to learn from their perspective, but you can't do that without being vulnerable. Tip 13, one of my favorite quotes, don't pull the ladder up behind you. And that means a lot of times in politics, somebody might benefit from a certain legislation, and then they'll rewrite the legislation so they'll close the loop so other people can't benefit from it. They'll pull the ladder up from behind them. As an entrepreneur, life can be hard. And a lot of our journeys aren't perfect. They were filled with less than flattering details, right? Like for me, the first trade show I ever went to, I didn't even know how to do a trade show well. I was just going to get free pins and posters. Total goober, right? Not good, not professional. But I share that because I want people to know that you just have to keep trying and be entrepreneurial and you will get better. So when you've arrived, and even if you've only arrived halfway or not arrived at all, always be open to those that are behind you that haven't had the success that you have yet, to share with them the reality of what it was to be an entrepreneur. Don't go and sanitize the history and make it look all perfect like you were some rock star. Just be okay sharing, yeah, here's what I did. Here's all the things that I did wrong. That really helps and encourages people that haven't made it to where you are yet. And that brings us to tip number 14, is share with others. Find someone to mentor. I run these mastermind groups, and they're paid. I charge people, so I'm not doing this for free. I give away plenty of free advice. YouTube, I guess, is all free too. But find somebody to help. It can be really beneficial. I do all these mastermind groups, like I said, and I learn so much. They say one of the best things to do to learn something is to teach it. It's the best way to solidify the memory. So as I'm having all these conversations, I'm finding so many things that I can apply for the better in my life. So wherever you are as an entrepreneur, find someone that can benefit from what you know and give them free advice. You're not expecting anything in return. Give free mentoring, help others. Tip 15 is stay inspired. Do things to continually learn and to continually kind of be on fire as an entrepreneur. I read Brian Tracy's book, Goals, at least every year. I read motivational quotes every single day. I create time for that. So make sure to have time in your day and your week to stay inspired. Tip 16 is to start with small risks. You don't need to go and take a big risk right from the beginning. Start doing little risks. When I started trading in the stock market, and I only do it very casually, but I wanted to learn the skill. So I started making small trades here and there. And at one point, after I'd made some money, lost some money, in the end only ended up like with the market's return of 12%, I kind of decided to get out. But because of what I learned, I kept $500 in this biotech stock that fell to $250. But because of what I learned, I knew to just keep it. I wasn't going to sell it. And then it went up to $1,200. But because of what I learned, and I didn't know why it went up, I kept it there. And then it went up to $7,500. And because of what I learned, I said, you're going to take the earnings, because a lot of times you've seen things go up and down. I couldn't replicate it, so I'm not saying that I'm an amazing stock trader, but all of that happened and I made $7,000 because I was doing it and I was taking the risks and I was getting comfortable in a certain area. Because I got really comfortable buying and selling truckloads of used bike parts, or of bike parts that, random bike parts. When I got a call that said, hey, this place is going out of business. There's 2 truckloads of bike parts for $200,000, but they're worth nearly $1 million. Do you want to buy it? I was ready to make that purchase and borrow money and make that happen because I had practiced small. So nothing's too small. Just start small. Be entrepreneurial all the time. You're curious and you think you can buy something at Walmart to resell it. My daughter, she was there. She had $10 to buy a treat, but there was a pool pump for sale. It said it was normally $135. It was only $10. She bought it for $10. It took her like 4 months to sell it, but she sold it for $50. And she netted a $25 profit after shipping. Start small and just get comfortable dabbling in uncertainty. Tip 17 is practice problem solving. Be curious. With anything. When I do a lot of bike touring, I'm always thinking, how could I solve that problem? How could we make that more perfect? How could we carry a child more effectively or efficiently? Okay. Or when you're shipping in the warehouse, how could we ship more things per hour? Just by asking those questions, we went from 10 shipments an hour to 23 shipments an hour over time. And that saved us thousands of dollars a week, because we were always curious and always trying to make things better. The last and final tip, tip 18, is to learn to be decisive. The word side, the root of decide is side, and it means to cut off. Herbicide, pesticide, decide, cut off. Are you going to go to the store or are you going to go to the movie? Just choose one. Choose one and cut off all other options. A lot of times, we're not very good at making decisions, but as an entrepreneur, you need to be good at making decisions. Think about when you go through your email, how often do you fail to make a decision from email to email to email? What are you going to know more tomorrow about a certain email that you don't just know now? A lot of your computing power and what you need to know to make the decision, a lot of times you have it already. So just make the decision and live with it. Practice deciding. One of my favorite quotes from Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, is if you wait to have more than 70% of the information to make a decision, you've waited too long. So learn to decide. Those are my 18 tips about being more entrepreneurial as an introvert, and I hope they're helpful to you. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and ring the bell and follow along. If you want more of this content, check out my other videos, specifically a 17-day masterclass where I lay out everything that I teach in my mastermind class, in my mastermind course that people pay for. It's all free on YouTube. So check that out, and otherwise, enjoy and good luck on your journey. I'll see you on the next video.